setting the record straight today. And Tony, say hi to everyone real quick.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? Nice to meet you all. I know I've chatted with a few of you guys online and through Facebook message, but we're going to definitely get through all those questions that you guys are initially sending me messages for, and so we'll go over that here in the next 30, 45 minutes or however long it takes.
Oop, I just lost my sound again. Boy, I hate when that happens. So,
Yeah,
I just lost my sound again. So anyway, guys, so here's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, briefly, I'm going to let Tony kind of explain what happened with the marketing, how it started, how it got created, the do's and do nots when it comes to the beacons and how Google sees it. And obviously he's going to talk about how he got introduced to me, because we just met each other, guys. What's it been, like 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. I met him through the group. That's it. I don't know anything else about the guy, other than what I'm seeing from what he shared with me, and we've talked a little bit. So he does have great knowledge in it. Oh, I'm getting feedback. Is that you or me?
Nope, I'm good.
Let's see.
Audio.
There we go. Yeah, there it is.
Back?
Yep, better. I was getting feedback from Facebook. So listen, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let Tony take the floor. He's going to introduce himself and talk about his knowledge when it comes to beacons. I'm going to kind of take a back seat. If you have a question, make sure you type a big Q, right? Because right now we're just talking about the beacon marketing and how to use it. That's it. We're not going to be talking about royalty. We're not going to be talking about Asirvia. We're not going to be talking about anything else. Tony's going to share with you what he's got going on as a platform per se. I'm going to share with you what I have coming up as a platform, and we will go from there. Do not hesitate to put your question in, and I will be looking at that. So, Tony, go ahead, brother.
All righty, guys. Awesome. Okay, so it's nice to meet everybody. Number one, I just want to give a little bit of an introduction as to how I came across this group. I have actually been a web developer and web designer for the last 12 years. I've been doing design, online marketing, social media, everything you can possibly imagine. I've been highly involved in the Google Nearby technology for quite some time. And I'm also have been involved in other network marketing companies. So how I came across Royaltie and Asirvia is that I saw them on the radar and I started watching and kind of observing, and I kind of backdoored myself into Corey's group here, and to kind of see what was going on behind the scenes. And I just sat back and kind of watched it. I was more involved in watching some of the Asirvia stuff because I was watching how they're running things, and I would have people. I inquired to some people and asking about delivery, and everyone's still complaining about delivery time frame. So I'm just going to give you guys a background as to how I came across this. And that was basically the way I started, asking questions to some of the Asirvia people. Have you received your units? No. They said 12 days, 14 days, and I jumped over to Royaltie. And same thing here, just asking people if they received their units, what's going on. And then at that point, I was just kind of seeing how the application was being used and what they were using it for, because of course I have a pretty extensive knowledge about how this technology is supposed to be used. And so, as you guys all know, when I posted my comment, a couple days ago, it was kind of like the cat in the bag, like Corey said. And so from there, everything's kind of, steamrolled from there. So anyways, that's kind of how I came to the group. I've never met Corey before. I met him a couple days ago, and we exchanged a phone call because of the comments I made. And so what I want to ultimately do with you guys today is give you guys, we're going to cover a number of different topics. I mean, the first topic is I want to give you guys a background as to how proximity marketing is supposed to be used, and with that, it'll dovetail into what's going on with Asirvia and Royaltie in regards to how they're using it and what the potential pitfalls are. I'll cover how you could possibly use whatever products you've had right now going forward, the applications about how to use it. We're going to go over a lot of stuff today. So, I think what we're going to do is cover multiple topics and then take questions on that topic and then kind of move from there.
Hey, Tony, 1 second, man. I'm getting a lot of people saying they can't hear. If you guys can hear okay, if my audio is coming through and Tony's audio is coming through, give me a thumbs up. I have a couple people saying they can't hear. Let's wait and see what happens real quick. Sorry, Tony.
No, it's all right, man. I'll try to speak a little bit louder, a little bit more.
No, I don't think it's you. I think it's every time I click on my thing here, the audio is. Let me see.
Kind of move from there.
Hey, Tony, 1 second, man. I'm getting a lot of people saying they can't hear. Yep. Okay, so it's the browser. Go ahead, Tony. Back,
All right.
back to you, man. I just want to make sure everybody can hear us loud. Okay, everybody says loud and clear. The video is stopping.
That's
Okay.
probably from what you just did. Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect. All right. So we'll carry on. Okay, so a little background here, guys, on proximity marketing and what the movement is with this is that, as you guys probably all know, proximity marketing was initially initiated, years back in app development. It was really, let's see. Okay. Everything okay, good. All right, I'm just reading the comments here. Proximity marketing was originally developed for app development. So if you have an app installed, you can use geolocation and proximity, and that was kind of the way that this proximity marketing was originally put into place. Now, any of you guys who have a background in marketing probably have realized pretty quickly that downloading an app is a major marketing roadblock. That's the problem with it. If I'm at my local sushi joint, I probably don't like my local sushi joint enough to download their app and get proximity notifications. So it was just dead in the water. So what happened then is that, and of course, iPhone uses iBeacon, and we'll get into iPhone and iOS a little bit later, but they're very stringent about who can use their systems. They don't want anybody monetizing their systems except for them. So with that being said, Google decided they're going to tackle this proximity marketing situation, yes, called the physical web, where they can, basically get proximity and geolocation notifications without having to have apps installed. And so what they did is they were very savvy with being able to use Google Chrome as the system to detect location, and hence the physical web, hence the beacons, hence the nearby notifications is how all this came across. And so with that being said, the physical web is basically what it's called right now. That's the term for it going forward. And so as you guys all know, it's Android based. It goes to Google Chrome. And so the whole purpose of physical web, and I want you guys, this is important for you guys to understand this, because then you'll understand how Asirvia and Royaltie Gem may potentially mess this whole thing up for them, is that physical web is really meant to be this. If I'm at my bus stop and there is a physical web logo that's used across the board, it's standardized for everybody. If I'm sitting there at my local bus stop and I want to find out more information about bus times, I see the physical web logo, I turn on my Bluetooth, and I get a notification. It tells me when the next bus is coming. It basically gets rid of me having to open up my Google and type in whatever I want to find out more information. So that's essentially what the physical web is for. That's what the Google nearby notifications is meant for. If I walk into my local my coffee shop, I get a notification. If I'm at my veterinarian or whatever it is, it's meant for physicality purposes. And so that's the whole purpose behind the proximity physical web notifications, is that purpose. So from that marketing perspective. So one of the challenges we're having right now is that you guys start thinking about this, the way that Royaltie Gem and Asirvia is marketing this, is that they're assuming that we have these beacons and we're just going to be able to get all these amazing notifications, and we're going to get all these leads, and I'm going to be at my baseball watching a baseball game, and hundreds of people are seeing my ad, and they're going to click on it. It's going to be amazing, and everything's going to be wonderful. And so that's the problem right now, is that it doesn't work like that. If you guys really think about that, I mean, if you guys saw an ad for somebody, and especially this is the other thing, is that 40-character message is very, very important. That's what's going to allow them to click on that ad. But if I'm just sitting there and I see a 40-character notification that says, hey, lose weight, or find out how to make money, or anything like that, I mean, what's my response rate on that? It's going to be very null and void. And so, and Google's already done test studies on this, and that's why it's part of their best practices. They don't want people spamming anybody on this. And so the problem with this is, and this is where I saw a major red flag in all this in regards to Asirvia and with Royaltie Gem, is that all of these beacons are registered with Google through Royaltie and through Asirvia. They're accessing their API. So right now for my company, if I register a beacon, I'm registering one for a restaurant, one for a mobile business card, one for a mobile brochure. I'll explain more of my processes. But basically, I'm not having 7,000 hits to my API of 40-character messages that are going to be spammy. Now, if all of you guys know anything about Google, they're very stringent in regards to their terms and their best practices. If you do any type of black hat SEO, anything like that, they'll get rid of you, they'll ban you, they'll do whatever they have to do. They're all about relativeness. And so
Tony, let me stop you there for a second, because that's very important what you just said. And I think a lot of people don't understand what you just said. So kind of break just that portion. I'm sorry to ruin your train of thought, but that's very, very important. And that's why I've been screaming at people not to use their affiliate link. So kind of when you say spammy and you say just saturating Google Chrome's notification, can you give just a little bit more specific about that? Because the company's teaching to, well, we know who the companies are. They're teaching to us to put our affiliate link in the gem or in the beacon. What does that actually do as far as Google is concerned?
Well, yeah, and that's a really good question, because see, there's a couple different things that Google is put into play to make sure that there is no spammy notifications and that people are concerned about privacy and, hey, I'm not going to download some malware from my phone. Google's already, that's why they all of you guys have kind of read into that HTTPS thing, and that's basically the secure socket. Well, that HTTPS basically guarantees that the information protocol is going to be safe. And so, with that being said, that URL that you direct them to is very, very important, and it has to be relative. And so, what's going to ultimately happen is these beacons, again, they want relative. So if it's going to some type of landing page with some type of spammy offer, Google's not dumb. They're going to figure that out really quickly, and they're not going to allow the URL, or it's going to tell you it doesn't work. And so that's really, really important for you guys to understand this, because I want you guys to understand, and I'm going to cover this a little bit later, these beacons are not the be-all, end-all product of marketing. They're not the holy grail. They are simply a tool for that link. That link is the most important thing. So if because again, we're talking relativity, right? I mean, physical web. If I walk up to a bus stop and I do a scan for it and I get a donut shop, I'm not going to be happy, and Google's going to figure that's not how this works. So that's really important to understand that, guys, in regards to how these beacons work and what the basis behind them is. And so when I'm explaining this, now you're going to start seeing how possibly the way that Asirvia and the way that Royaltie is doing this, and how this may ultimately turn into a big old mess. Now, let me also tell you guys something. When this nearby technology first came out in 2016, there was a massive hiccup with it. There was a corruption in the Android code. They literally pulled the plug on nearby notifications. Just like that, all notifications were done. So think about this. If you have 3,000, 7,000 people that are all relying on this lovely gem beacon as their mode of residual income and everything else, and all of a sudden the plug gets pulled and there's no service, that business is completely done.
Absolutely done, yeah.
So what I want you guys to understand, I mean, from a network marketing perspective, again, I mean, I got into a little bit of arguments back and forth with some people like, oh, well, you're not with MLM, you don't understand MLM. I understand MLM, and I understand that if you want a successful MLM company, you have people purchasing your product consistently. And in this situation, I mean, one Google change and all of a sudden this entire organization is done. And the thing about it, that's what really worries me about this, guys. Okay, so from that perspective, I mean, I don't want to go into more detail about the concept why it's not going to work out for them. I'm just saying at this point, if you guys you guys ordered your beacons and hopefully they'll fulfill the order, they'll come in and you'll get them, and depending on the kind that you get, me and Corey can show you how to configure them, and that way you can still possibly make your money back on this and not have to worry about it. But we're ultimately going to show you guys a way to where you don't have to use Asirvia or Royaltie to program these, and you're not worried, you're not registering with them, and if they pull the plug, your beacons won't go away. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's kind of the be all end of how the physical web works. And so, does anybody have any questions right now in regards to how the proximity marketing, anything from Google?
Yeah. There's no questions so far. I think they're just sponging it in.
All right. Okay.
Which is good. It means you understand, but I think it's really important, because you touched on a couple of things, that these beacons, technically the protocols are kind of open source. There's so many manufacturers of beacons, so many of them worldwide. It was not designed to be a spam type scenario. It was designed for businesses, and mainly it's been big corporations, but it was designed for small businesses, restaurants, bars, hair salons, to market to people within their 50-yard range. It's called proximity for a reason. And
and I'll give you guys a quick rundown as to how the big box stores are using it. And Victoria, I saw your question about the URL and why that's important. Just real quickly, the reason why that URL is important is because ultimately that URL is the relevance of whatever you're broadcasting. So, I mean, like we talked about earlier, if that is, take for example, you guys, a little beacon that is on your keychain is on that parking meter, and you go up to it and you get that, it basically sends you to a link, okay? And that link has to be relative to the parking meter. Now, if that link came up and said it was a donut shop, obviously that's not relative, and that's the major issue with that. So when we start talking about how these beacons work and how we're going to market them, and I'll give you guys some ideas about how to do this, you'll understand that relevance is the most important thing, and that link provides that relevance. So hopefully I answered your question, Victoria, but if not, we can discuss it a little bit later. But so real quickly, like, so for example, the big box stores, how they're using proximity marketing and beacons, you know, in the traditional sense, you walk into Macy's and there's these beacons are all over the place. It's going to, the minute it walks in, if you have the Macy's app, it detects that you bought 5 black V-neck shirts. It says, hey, Anthony, welcome back to Macy's. By the way, if you take this turn, right, this turn, all of a sudden there's these 4 shirts that are almost exactly like I bought. And of course I throw them in my cart. So that's how proximity marketing was used from the app perspective. But, you know, now that Google Nearby is there, they're really using Google Nearby for you know, notifications, for mobile coupons, for businesses to interact and with their patrons. But again, I'm going to show you guys, this doesn't mean that this is not applicable to individuals. And I'm going to explain to you how I'm using this on an individual level for one-on-one purposes too here in a little bit. So anyways, do you think I covered everything in regards to like just the history?
Henry asked, does Microsoft have a similar Nearby service back in? I don't use Microsoft phones. What are those things called?
Those are just the Windows phones. I don't know what they're called. Yeah.
That's like 2% of the market, I think. So, I don't know.
Yeah, no. As far as I know, Harry, Microsoft does not have an equivalent of this at all in regards to. I mean, they've been trying to keep up to pace with the Google Chrome and Safari. They've pretty much lost the internet browser battle, and so right. Even when I'm doing search engine marketing for my clients, I don't even Internet Explorer, any of those places. I mean, it's just it's not really. So as far as I know, no.
And the funny thing is, too, is like we mentioned how it was Google this, Google that. And the reason that, these beacons, they broadcast to both iOS and Android. The problem is on the iPhone, you have to have Google Chrome enabled to receive notifications. Now, Royaltie doesn't have it to where they're broadcasting both networks.
Yeah, that's also another really good thing I want to bring up too here too, because when we start talking about here in a minute on buying these beacons from radius networks, configuring them, I'm going to cover all that from kind of a little bit more of a technical background and also kind of the easy way of doing it, just so you guys have an understanding as to how that whole process works, because obviously. We want to help you take advantage of whatever beacons you purchased, and hopefully, the ones that we're talking about right now are obviously the little radius network ones. We know the big ones from Contact.io. If you have those ones, we're still kind of looking for a solution for that. But as far as the little radius network ones, the little keychain ones, we'll tackle kind of how to work with those.
Yep.
So let's see here. So should we move on? Are we good on that for the background?
It's really great stuff so far. Yeah, I think what really everybody's wanting to understand is, I don't even know how to start with this. They can do this themselves, but the problem is, with the Radius network and Contact.io, there's some things that you cannot do, right, which is where you and I come in. But as far as sending a link, setting up the beacon to go to a link, you can do that. So kind of break into that. And then obviously you have a platform, I have a platform. We're also going to be working together. We're trying to make people need to understand there is no monthly fee for the beacon. So kind of go into that.
And that was also my big thing that I saw this too, is that, when I saw that on there, I'm like, oh man, I mean, anybody that has a little bit savvy and does some research, man, they're going to be kind of pissed off when they realize that they can do this themselves. But keep in mind here, guys, this is the other thing. If you guys are going to get involved in proximity marketing, you really should be at least do some research and be somewhat of a, you have to be able to walk into your client and talk to them about how this whole thing works. And if you think that you're just going to rely on a third-party affiliate to do that job for you, you're not going to be successful with this type of marketing. Okay. Now, so that's my thing. So, when I start explaining to you guys about how to work with Radius Networks app and their and the beacons themselves to configure them. I mean, those should be some basis knowledge for you right there, is knowing how to do that. So from there, again, the cat in the bag here was that, yes, you can go to Radius Networks, you can buy this beacon for $14. If you buy one, you can buy them as low as 10 if you get a lot of them, and they get shipped to you right away. I mean, literally, I got mine in 24 to 48 hours. They have an overnight option for it, right? So 2 days, and so so of course,
I've got a 12-pack sitting here that I haven't shown anybody yet, but it took 2 days to get here.
So the question is now that once you've done that, that's great. Now you have this beacon there, and of course, the thing that Royaltie was doing was basically just providing you a very easy way of being able to program them, and just sell a lot of them, and hopefully you go like crazy, and everything works out. So that was what they were doing, is providing that little tool. So basically, what happens, you buy this beacon, okay? This beacon is programmable. Every beacon that you have is first programmable via Bluetooth, okay? So this may also be some of the challenges that Asirvia and Royaltie is having, is that when you get that Bluetooth, you have to configure it first. There has to be something Bluetooth that configures it. And we're talking 7,000 of these. I don't know how they're doing it, but I know that how it's supposed to be done. So
that's the problem too, man, is they're having to manually, and go into that too. They have, up to this point, you still have to manually configure it on the correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to manually configure it in the manufacturer's dashboard, correct? Yes,
exactly. So it's like buying a part for your car, and you have to configure it locally first, and then you can ship it off, and it can kind of use on someone's car. So that's kind of the metaphor for that. So right now, if you buy one of these little Radius Networks, beacons, I'm not going to use the word gem anymore, because I like the word beacon. The word beacon is how everyone in the world knows this to be the case. The gem is the affiliate MLM thing that they're using. So the word beacon. So when you get your beacon, and you download an app. The app goes on your Android or your iPhone. What this app does is communicate to the Bluetooth to the unit, and there are certain values that you have on there. So, for example, when you first get that beacon, there's like 4 values. There's alt beacon, there's iBeacon, there's all these things that you can turn on. And again, if you don't know this, you're going to turn all of them on. But if you have the iBeacon one on, it's going to drain the battery. So there's some things that you need to know technically to know on how to program these. Now, once you've done it once or twice, it's really not that difficult, And so at that point, you have 2 options on this, guys. Okay, so when you first get this, the concept of the URL, the link that it goes to, is called an Eddystone URL. Okay, that's the name for it from Google Chrome. So if you get this right out of the box, you open up your beacon. In there, there's a link that you can program for your Eddystone URL. It's an HTTPS. And you basically hit save, and there's a couple more steps in there. It programs the beacon, and at that point, the beacon is just broadcasting. Okay, you can control the radius, you can control the broadcast strength on there, and that's what that tool allows you to do. Okay, now the challenge with this is that a couple different things so far in this is that if you configure it that way, well, if you have 30 of these out there that you sold, and they decide they want to change their URL, does that mean you have to go to every location to open your app or teach your client how to do that? Which is going to be that's not going to happen. Okay, so now you guys can kind of see the need of why they were trying to do this, is because there's some setup issues here. Okay, however, there are some workarounds on that. I mean, so for example, any of you guys know what's called the Google Link Shortener? Okay, I don't know if you guys know what that is. Google Link Shortener allows you to take a link, and it gives you a shortened version of it, and then you use that to program your Eddystone URL. Now, what that does is allows you to go back into Google and change that link as to where it goes to. Okay, so if you have 30 of these and you do it manually, there is a way for you to be able to do that to where you don't have to go out physically and change each one by doing the Google Link Shortener, okay? Now, again, I don't expect all of you guys to capture all this information right off the bat. I mean, I just want to provide you guys with some general knowledge about if you want to go, what you're looking to do, or what the steps are if you decide that you want to do these on your own.
But let me say something real quick, man, because a lot of people, when you're saying the Google Shortener, Google still looks, because a lot of people in their minds are thinking, we're dealing with MLMers. They're thinking, well, I can put my link in that Google Shortener and I'm safe. No.
Yeah.
Google hates hates affiliate marketing. So I want to make sure you guys understand that. So
yeah, and that's what we'll get to that when we start talking about platform and everything else a little bit later in regards to the links and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is you got sometimes the links, Google won't like the link. I mean, I've had a couple of them where the link wouldn't take, and it was kind of weird. But again, you guys all know it has to be an HTTPS link, so that's the biggie. And that's gonna be a big roadblock for a lot of you to program these, because, for example, I mean, I know in a handful of network marketing companies, they provide you with these wonderful landing pages and these amazing, your personal page, but if it's not secure, it's just not going to work. Okay. Right. So from that being said, we're talking about the beacon, the app that you can use to program it yourself. Again, it's once you've done it a couple of times, you'll catch on to it. So you could essentially do this yourselves. Okay. Now, the second step to all of this is that you register these beacons with Google, okay? And this is kind of what Royaltie has done, is they've built a platform to where they can register these with Google. And then once you register with them, you can then control all your beacons from Google's dashboard. You can control that 40-character message we talked about. Oh, no, also, that's another point I forgot to mention too. If you do them yourself on the app with the beacon app, the message that is displayed is the title tag of whatever link you're sending them to. Okay, so if that link says, and what I mean by title tag is that when you look at a web page, whatever's in the very top of your browser, what if it says, American Toyota, or whatever Toyota, that's the first 40 characters it gives you is that title tag, and then it provides a link. So if you do it that way through the actual app itself, you can't control that 40-character message. So you have to then be able to control that whatever landing page you're developing, the title tag for that. Okay, so that's the other thing that you got to do there too, is kind of understand that perspective. Now, where you can control the 40-character message is if you register them with Google. And that one right there, guys, I'll tell you that much, that is they don't make that easy to do, because they really don't. They really want technical people being in charge of this. They don't want every Joe Schmo, every car salesman out there configuring beacons. So believe me.
Hi, it's developer here. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So from that perspective, I mean, you can go on there. Google has an app that you can register the app. Now, so let me tell you guys something also very important here. Okay, when Radius Network sends you a beacon, it gives you what's called a UID. That UID identifies that beacon across the board. If you do not change that UID, it still goes back to Radius Networks, okay? So if you change that UID, and there's a protocol to do that, it then identifies it as your own, okay? So right now, that's going to be the major difference, is that for some reason, Asirvia or Royaltie gets shut down, all those UIDs are attached to them, so they're gone. So if you decide you want to pursue this, and you do it this way, and something pulls a plug, it doesn't matter if you bought your beacons through Royaltie or I mean, again, as long as they're the keychain ones, you're going to be all right. So, all the red flags we're talking about, there's still a way of being able to get past that. Okay.
Hold on a second. So what you just said kind of explains why a lot of people, they've registered they got the email saying their beacons are being shipped, but yet they changed their message, but the URL still goes to royaltie.com. I've seen about 300 people that are having that issue.
Well, I'll tell you guys this much too, is that when you do change that URL, there is a meta cache within Google, which is why sometimes it takes a long time. Now, if you have 3,000 units and people are changing them all the time, again, it's just, there's so many red flags on that, guys. And those messages, those 40-character messages, should not be something that you log in and change every day. Like, that's we're gonna get into that when we start talking about marketing applications for these beacons and how you can actually legitimately go out there and build business the right way with these. Those messages are not meant to be changed on the fly. They're not meant to be every single day you decide you want to walk out and change your message to something else. Those messages are really meant to be kind of a one-time thing, and whatever you're marketing, it's consistent all the time.
Right.
Okay. So again, yeah, if getting more involved in the beacon, I mean, right now you guys are still okay. It's going to take a couple more steps if you do it through the app. But like I said, we're going to talk about here a little bit more in detail, because again, the substance of all this marketing is that even he calls it a landing page. I call ours mobile business cards, mobile brochures, but the bottom line is that whatever they're linking to is the most important thing. Okay, that's the biggie. So if you guys have a way of being able to do that, if not, then you can work with Corey and I to we have some strategies already in place to kind of help you with regards to how to do this correctly. But let's get into next, unless anybody has any questions as of right now about the setup or the how you set them up. Again, I can't go into full detail about step by step right now on this. I mean, we might be able to create something to help you guys on a step by step basis, or even provide you guys with some links and resources for that. But as far as it goes right now, do we have any questions about the app, about Radius Networks, about how to configure them, anything at all?
Let me look. Take a breath, Tony.
Right.
Take a breath, brother. Take a drink of water. Yeah, guys. So, hey, guys, if you're enjoying this, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a sad face if you don't like what we're talking about. But listen, guys, we're here to help, and that's the reason why I started this group to begin with, because I'm here to help. Tony's here to help. Obviously, we both build landing pages for you guys. Mobile pages.
Mobile business cards.
The funny thing is, though, it's just kind of idiotic to me that you would have a beacon and send someone to a website that's not mobile friendly. Number one, that's a big mistake, And even if your website is mobile friendly, when they're on their mobile phone, so a lot of sites might be mobile friendly, but they got way too much garbage on there.
Right.
This needs to be direct to the point, a title, a video, a little bit of description, and a button to get started or join or buy or whatever. Let me see. Yeah,
and then Steph said, information overload. I know this is kind of an information overload on there, but you know what? What we ultimately want to do on this is let you guys all know that, and if you've taken the route of going down royalty and for some reason it doesn't work out for you guys, that there is some options for you guys in regards to how to get out there and still market this and not be reliant on royalty for your service provider. Okay, so that's the big thing.
And by the way, guys, I want to make really sure you guys understand we are in no way, shape, or form trying to get you to go away from royalty or Asirvia or any other program that you're part of. We are just trying to tell you that if it should come crashing down, or if you don't like the way things are going now, there is other alternatives, and we're here to help you do that. So did you see the question that's up on the screen?
Yeah, so download the Beacon app and use the Bluetooth to set up the Beacon. Yeah, so that's essentially what you do. I mean, the Beacon app is provided by Radius Networks. Once you download it, it communicates via Bluetooth. You basically hold down the little keychain, it puts into program mode, and then at that point you're able to jump on there and kind of configure it. And for those of you guys that are Google savvy, you guys can Google your hearts out on this. I mean, there's tons of information out there. You might go down a technical rabbit hole, but it's again, you should know what you're doing with this. So okay, so let's see here. What else next? Let's go into some marketing applications.
On to what you offer people, how your business works, how it helps your customers, and just.
Yeah, but I will tell you guys this though. I mean, again, I'm not I have never purchased anything from Royalty or Asirvia, but I will tell you guys this is that if you guys are interested in pursuing this market, you really do need to consider the back door right now at this point, because I can tell you guys right now, if you have been involved this far, get your units. I mean, and then let's figure out how you can go forward with it, because I would not build a business around this business. I mean, me being in the background and the technical knowledge and knowing how everything works, I'd be very fearful. It's like building a skyscraper on sand right now, so that's my thing. Coming from an outside source, not being involved with any of them, I would be very careful in building an affiliate program or an MLM with this. And so, with that being said, we'll go into talking about some marketing strategies and what we can do to do that.
Samantha says that better to use Radius than Contact because Radius does both. Actually, that's not true. All beacons, to my knowledge, I know Contact does 3. They do Android, Google, iOS, and Alt Beacon, which a lot of people have never even heard of. So kind of get into that.
Yeah, so Samantha, the thing about it is that Radius does apply to they cater to all of them. Bluetooth, the iBeacons, Alt, all of them. The problem is you guys need to realize this is that iBeacon or iPhones do not really apply to any of you guys unless you guys decide you want to apply that to an app. Okay, so and we already talked about earlier, apps are marketing roadblocks. So we're not even really going to get involved with iPhone. We're not going to get involved in that. We're going to base our statistics right now is that, our marketing has a 60% market share. And from that case, 6 out of 10 phones are average. I mean, it's still a pretty decent market share. But right now, as far as any of these beacons goes, again, like Corey said earlier, is that if unless you have Google Chrome installed on an iPhone, which is kind of counterintuitive, most people don't go and get an iPhone and automatically go install Google Chrome. They're usually iPhone fanatics, you know. So with that being said, I mean that's really not, you know. So as far as iPhones go, if any of you guys are, oh my God, how's it going to apply to iPhone? Blah 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 blah. Just get that out of your head. I will tell you this though, that later on down the pack here, coming down the road, iPhone has finally kind of opened up their doors to NFC technology. Right. And so that might be a potential coming on down the road. But, you know, as far as any iPhones goes, any of you guys are iPhone lovers, just, you know, we're going to lay that by the wayside.
NFC is near field communication.
Yes, sir.
Just like the Bluetooth, just so you guys don't get confused by our
Yeah, so yeah. NFC just basically is a little passive device that's either embedded in a card or something like that. And once your phone gets near it, within a couple inches, it sends over information just like the Bluetooth does. Okay. All right. So unless anyone's good on questions on that, so then let's move on to some kind of marketing applications in regards to how we use this, how this technology should be used, and you know, if you're really interested in moving forward with it, what you can do to apply this technology.
Yep. I don't see any more questions. So did you get your drink of water?
Yeah, let me do one more before I
He's talking 90 miles an hour, man. That's cool, guys. So, hey, guys, listen, we're just here to help you guys. We're trying to give as much information as possible. I'm pretty sure in about 2 weeks we'll have a better solution. He has a solution now, so do I. But he's going to talk about what he's doing and what your solutions could be should you have the need for it. So, sure. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so guys, you know, obviously you guys know the application and how this works. I mean, and right now, this is why all the network marketing people are all over this, because the concept of being able to have a little beacon on your keychain that transmits information to everybody around you is just, you know, amazing. Wow, that's great. So, with that being said, you know, I'll tell you guys kind of the ways that my company is doing this. My company is called LiveShare Media. And what we specialize in doing is mobile business cards and mobile brochures, okay? Our whole concept is mobile marketing. We understand that everybody has their cell phone on them, so how can we market to their cell phone? You know, if I just met somebody, how can I get my information to their phone instead of handing them a business card, which they're going to throw away? Or if it's more of a detailed information, a brochure, you know? Okay, we have a couple questions real quickly here.
I'm popping them up. She's still, sorry, man. Sorry to stop you.
That's okay.
So go ahead. Anna has a question. I've got it up on the screen.
As a customer receives a message on their phone, do they have to download the app to see the notification? No, Anna, we covered that in the beginning. There's no app involved with this technology. It's all done through Google Chrome. And so if you know, almost every Android comes pre-installed with Google Chrome. So if they have an Android phone, that's how it gets it, okay? But if you watch back to the beginning of this, we cover all of that. So we'll go and move on from there. So again, we're talking about how we apply this. So, you know, mobile marketing, we realize that if we're, you know, on any given basis, we go to a restaurant, we see people on their phones. I mean, couples don't even talk to each other. They're sitting there scanning Facebook. We know that people are just attached to their phones, right? Like it's crack for them. I mean, so right now that really is kind of what we're doing. And now as a business owner, or even individual salespeople, how do we take advantage of that? And so what we have ultimately done is that our platform is more of a mobile business card. So I just met Corey. Hey, Corey, it's nice to meet you. By the way, and of course, I'll show you guys examples of what these look like. Some of you guys have seen them in the thread that I initially posted. But, you know, I just met Corey. Hey, here's my information. Instead of handing him a business card, I would say, okay, well, there's two different ways that we can do this. If he's an iOS guy, an iPhone, I open up my little phone, I put his first name, last name, and his cell phone number. In a matter of seconds, he gets a beautiful text message with a graphic of my card, with a link to what the beacon would ultimately transfer to, which is the mobile business card. And then, of course, I get the lead information. So now when he opens up that mobile business card on his phone, it's this amazing, you know, it syncs up to Facebook. All of his Facebook photo galleries are on there. I mean, everything is on there. It's a one-stop shop for his business or whatever he does. Okay, so so now instead of handing him a business card, I've now provided him with video. I provided him with, you know, everything you could possibly imagine. So that's called the mobile business card. Now, for us, this little beacon is amazing, and it's an additional tool. But again, we're not selling it as the be-all, end-all solution, because it is not. what it is an amazing tool. It's very impressive. And at $14 a pop, I mean, we can give everyone one of these, and we can program it to go to the URL. And so if I met Corey and he has an Android, I say, hey, listen, just go and look at your notifications. But keep in mind, what does that notification say? That notification says Tony Garcia, President, LiveShare Media, with my link. Okay, so I'm not spamming anything. And at this point, I also want to call to attention on this, guys, about how this should be marketed. Anything that we do as far as these applications, if it's not physical web, it's not something somebody walks up to and looks at, it's something that you or anybody you work with, your sales team, calls out to. Okay, so in that situation, the way I applied it was that, hey, Corey, I just met you. Here's my info. Oh, by the way, you have an Android? Look at your notifications. I bet you my information's already on there. Corey's like, oh, wow, look at that. Click. There we go. See, that's the application in it. So that's a mobile business card. And now that guys, you can do some amazing things with that. But again, it's all about application. And anybody I sell this to, I tell them, hey, listen, you're not going to go out to the baseball game and get 100 leads. And the other thing is, people, and I tell people all the time, and if you're not out networking, if you're just driving around, if you're driving down the neighborhood, that beacon's not going to last long enough for someone to pick it up. So turn the damn thing off. You can, and we had a comment about that a little while ago. Can you turn them off? Yes, you can. One click, it turns red and it's off. Save your battery life. However, if I'm at Kohl's or I'm walking around, whatever, and I want to turn it on, then I turn it on. But again, I can't. I'm teaching my customers, my clients, that this is not a spammy broadcasting, get all out there. This is more of a, hey, open up your notifications. Or if I'm at a networking event, then it's impressive. Now that's on a one-on-one level, guys. Okay, that's me, meeting people and please no more links, Harry. Oh, that's you.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Killing us with the links, man.
That's okay. So that's on a one-on-one level, guys. And the thing about that is that again, network marketing people. We do a lot of work with network marketing people. Okay, and in regards to delivering a message out there. But again, it's all about application, guys. I mean, network marketing people think that this is going to broadcast to everybody. But right now, if you want to deliver a message and you want to get something out to them, if you're out networking, call to someone's attention. Say, hey, listen, look at your notifications. Probably my information on there. But again, it's not the spammy, full-on, look at my notifications and everyone's going to get a bunch of leads type situation. And I think that's really what drawn everybody to this to begin with, is just thinking that they can just walk around with this thing and get tons of leads. So that's what we do on that level, the mobile business card. And of course, again, our product is that mobile business card. When that link is open, they can import their V cards. They can, again, Facebook integration. That is the product. So when someone buys our product, they're not buying a beacon. The beacon is just an additional tool. Right. And the reason why we sell it that way is because if something happens, I mean, something could happen. They can pull a plug on it altogether for everybody. I mean, my clients are not paying me for that beacon. They're paying me for that mobile brochure, that mobile business card. And so again, you also want to think about that too when you're building campaigns around this. I mean, if you really want to get involved with this beacon, it is mobile marketing, and take 360 degrees of what that means. This isn't just beacons. This is text message marketing. This is mobile development. I mean, there's so much that encompasses it, and that's the meat and potatoes of it. The beacon's just sugar on top. I tell people that all the time.
Let me interject here real quick, guys. Now, he said a very important point that a lot of people aren't understanding. When you create a page, a landing mobile page or a card, Google sees that. So if you create a page that has a video and an opt-in form only, or just an opt-in form only, that's bad.
Yep.
It's extremely bad. And I've said that multiple times, and nobody's listening.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And even, like I said, I mean, even with this situation, when we develop these mobile business cards for network marketing companies, I mean, we're putting quality content on there. We're putting videos on there. We're putting content on there. There's not just, hey, a link with an opt-in page, because he's right. And again, you guys realize Google's all about relevance. They want relevant information. And if that link says Tony Garcia and my name, it's not, hey, lose weight, do this, and take Plexus, take this, take that, whatever. I mean, all these are network. I mean, it's really relevant to the point. Okay, so with that being said, that's how we do it on an individual one-on-one level. And again, you guys can still build up. I mean, you guys can do some amazing business from that perspective. Okay, so the other way that we are doing this is that we've gotten a lot more detailed, and those of you who really want to take this up a notch, you guys can. I mean, I'll give you guys one example. I have no problem sharing this with you. One of the ways that we're doing this here in Albuquerque with this is that we have a bar here in town, a brand new bar just opened up. And we went to them and said, hey, listen, we want to experiment with this proximity marketing, okay? And so kind of did a little demo for them. And of course, they're blown out. They're just like everyone. They're like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's, and so the way that we're doing it with them is that they have 50 employees, okay? 50 employees, they all get their little beacon. And when they click on that link, it goes to the sandbar. That's the name of the volleyball. It's a volleyball/bar court. And so right now, if every one of their employees has 50 of these beacons, they're walking around, and if they happen to be at a restaurant, they say, hey, by the way, have you ever been to Sandbar before? What we're going to do is incentivize the employees to get people in the door to the restaurant. And how do we do that? Through the beacon. So if Joe Schmo's out at the bar, he's talking to some people, and he says, hey, have you ever been to Sandbar? No, well, look at your notifications. If you click on that link, there's a mobile coupon there. That mobile coupon is then trackable back to Joe Schmo. So a business owner comes back and says, hey, Joe Schmo sent out 30 coupons, and he can now basically incentivize, and he has 50 walking billboards. And, but again, you guys see the point there. We're calling out these, they're not just walking around with these beacons hoping that someone's going to, look at them. They're like, hey, I want to promote my restaurant, my place of business. And from that perspective, we can track all those things. So that's one example of how we do it. And there's tons of examples, guys, on how this can work. But again, I want to bring to your point, it's a call to attention type of marketing. Not just hopefully someone looks at their phone. This is 50 of his employees who say, hey, listen, I'm a waitress, an extra $100 for an incentive can bring me, that's a lot of money. So, hey, of course I'm going to go out and talk about it. I'm going to say, hey, by the way, look at your notification. There's a coupon on there for free wings. Come on in. Okay, so there's applications there, guys. You have to get creative with this. I mean, and right now, those of you who are just in here to, jump on the affiliate program and blah, 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 and, I don't know what to tell you guys, but I mean, if you're really legitimate marketers on this and have a marketing background, you're thinking of tons of ideas on this. And so my thing about it is that right now my resources, and I just took a call a little while ago from a gentleman and says, hey, listen, this is what I'm thinking about doing for my business. And I said, yeah, absolutely. There's an application in that, but you do, if you want to do something with this, you're going to have to rely on some people who have a technical knowledge on this, this affiliate hoping that, you're getting, five of these beacons to your local car salespeople. I mean, that's just not going to work for you guys. There has to be something behind it. Okay. So that's just a couple examples, guys. I mean, there's so many other examples. I mean, right now, ultimately, you guys could go sell a beacon to every restaurant in your town. A beacon right there that opens up their mobile menu. It opens up a coupon. It opens up something, but it's relative to the business. And that's one thing I want you guys to think about here. That this really is physical web. It's about proximity. So if I'm walking into my coffee shop, I'm walking into my dentist. I mean, those are the people, and you guys can sell those to them. I mean, that's possible. And that's going to be something long term. It's going to help for those of you who do additional services, or any of you guys who are in parallel services. That's your foot in the door. You call somebody up and say, hey, listen, I give you a beacon that can notify everyone that walks in. I mean, that's so you guys got to think outside the box here. Okay, think outside the box with this. And so, real briefly, that's kind of how we're doing it. And so, as far as that goes, again, I mean, the meat and potatoes is in that landing page, like Corey calls it, mobile brochures, like we call it. And so that's essentially what we're doing with that, and that application is that, and of course, if you guys are creative, there's so many other applications in this. There really, really is. There's so many stuff that you can do. Cool. So
check your messages, Tony.
What's that?
Check your messages real quick. So guys, any questions? You guys think this is great information? Give us some thumbs up. Obviously, ask all the questions you can, guys, because we are going to just try to get as much information out to you as possible. Remember, this isn't about one company or any company. This is about showing you guys how to use proximity marketing the correct way, what you need to do, what you don't need to do. And if you're just joining us now on this broadcast, just watch the replay when we're done. A lot of the stuff was answered already, asked and answered. And now we're just talking about the technical side of it. The proper pages to build, the proper mobile business cards to build, as Tony calls it. It's mobile, guys, and that's the way it works. This is not that hard.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna send Corey a couple links real quick just so you guys can see some examples of what we did. Okay. Hold tight, Corey. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
I'm typing on my phone because I can't.
It's a great time for everybody to take a pause. Are there any questions that we have not covered? Is there any questions, guys? Okay, so here's one. Let's see. You had a strong call to action in your message. What are the percentages of people seeing it and taking action?
Hold tight on that, Corey. Hold tight on that link I just sent you. I'm gonna resend you on. I'm just trying to do it on my phone. Hold tight.
No worries. And as far as I can answer Scott's question to a certain extent, I mean, when it comes to your mobile page, and guys, there's been pages built by my people on proximity.com. They are building great pages. They're putting a title, a video, a brief description, and get started now. As far as the call to action, I guess it depends upon you and your product, and most people don't have a video. So if you don't have a video, that message, that text content has to be relevant. So if you're at a bar or a restaurant and you get a notification of, buy one, get one free on your next visit, that really doesn't help them because they're already there. So it needs to be a relevant message to where they're at within that proximity. I think that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to build the pages, especially if you are doing any type of personal branding or personal product. It's all about the here and now, not getting somebody to sign up and register for an opt-in form. Opt-in forms are old school. That doesn't work. Get the customer to buy a product from you now because they're within your proximity, and then get their information after the purchase. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Does that make sense, Tony, or am I way off?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm sorry. I'm a guy. I can only do one thing at a time, so I'm trying to send you some links, and I'll start talking again.
Yeah, no, all right, man. People know me as the multitasker. I can type and talk at the same time. They're like, dang, Corey's fast. So I hope that answers your question, Scott. But guys, keep in mind, like Tony covered, this isn't about creating pages to go to your affiliate marketing. You guys got to be extremely careful with that. We're not saying you can't use it for affiliate marketing. I'm saying be smarter about how you create that mobile page or mobile card, so to speak. You need to be really careful because Google sees it, guys, period. And you'll get shut down. And in this case, I think the company we're talking about, the company we're with, they're fixing to get hurt. I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but I'm telling you from what the rules and regulations say, the affiliate stuff is a no-no. So anyway, Tony, go ahead. I'm going to type a couple of these in here.
All right, man. I'm going to send you a couple more, so send you some examples.
It's all right.
All right. So let me come back here. So, all right, guys. So, a couple things I just sent you guys right now. He's loading a link right now that we did for like a real estate agent. And you guys will see, I mean, when that link opens up, and these are links that are meant to be opened up on a mobile device. So when they open up, you guys will see that the presentation is just really, really impressive. I mean, because again, that's the thing. When they click on that link, there needs to be some, it needs to be impressive. It can't just be some generic responsive page. So with that being said, he's showing you one that we did for like a real estate agent. He also has one on there that we did for what's called a mobile menu for a restaurant. So, for example, the beacon that we have for Street Food Asia that you're going to see here in just a minute, the minute they walk into that location, it pings them with that menu, and then, of course, the servers are, incentivizing it. And then the last one we did was for like a network marketing company called Great Life. I mean, there's a bunch of them out there. And with that one, you'll see the difference in that, too. It's just, and the thing about network marketing companies, guys, too, is that a lot of times, like I said, we talked about before, those links they give you are not secure. You just can't go and plug them in. They're not going to work that way. So with that being said, you guys can kind of see how those links open up and the presentation of them. But also keep in mind too, I mean, we use text message delivery for these two as the main backup because, we ultimately, our end goal is mobile marketing. We want to get these mobile business cards or these brochures on people's phones. And we have tons of different ways of doing that. The beacon is just an additional tool. So.
Right. And what's interesting about what you just said is because a lot of your clients are actually affiliate companies. They're affiliate marketing companies, and the majority of network marketing MLM, their websites are horrible, terrible, and they're not mobile friendly. So if you are part of any, Amway, Mary Kay, whatever it is, you'll notice that a lot of those companies are old school. They are not caught up to technology. So building a mobile business card is going to put you light years ahead of the rest of the affiliates.
Yeah, and and the other thing, guys, too, is that when we rolling out some type of referral program for you guys, even from our platform. I mean, the thing about it is that when it comes to a network marketing company, when we design one, we go all out because we realize too that one is duplicatable. So if you're part of whether it is Hilo, Javita, whatever it is, I mean, all those Sorry, man.
Sorry,
I apologize. Any of those other companies that are out there, I mean, once we go and we create them, I mean, we have them done. We have everything linked up. I mean, so we can create some referral programs out there for you for those of you who are, Valentis, a coffee company out there, anyways, who's part of Valentis or any of those ones. I mean, once we create one, we can say, hey, listen, if you want to go, refer these other people, I mean, we can turn those things around quick. So, there's some money to be made there. I mean, honestly, guys, there's a lot of money to be made in the network marketing industry on this, but it just has to be done correctly. And the setup has to be done correctly. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, one network marketing company, Mary Kay, you guys can, there's so much opportunity there. But again, it's all about application.
Yeah, and I shared that with my people like 2 weeks ago. I was at a presentation it was a Bitcoin presentation, and I had 3 of the gyms on me, and there was because Dallas is where the corporate Mary Kay is, right? And they were having a presentation in the same hotel. There was 1,000 women in the room next door, which they have that little curtain. It's a little rollout. So they were all getting my notification. They're part of Mary Kay. Do you not think if you have one of these mobile pages built for your business and that beacon is broadcasting, that those Mary Kay or whoever it is not going to want the same thing? So think about that, guys. If you do this correctly, and I will be having a reseller program. I don't know. We haven't talked about it. We haven't gone that far yet. But think of it. If you can build unlimited pages for people using their beacons, you're going to be making a ton of money. Because right now, the industry is so poised for something new. And guys, we didn't really cover this. These beacons have been around for 8 years. This isn't something that's new. It's old. It's just it's never been available to the general public, so to speak.
Yeah. And, one thing I want to tackle too is that, working with our company, I mean, we when it's all said and done, we are a web development marketing design company. And so, our end goal, if you guys call me up and say, hey, Anthony, I have an application, I'm not going to develop, something quickly where you can just spam it out to 2,000 people. I mean, if you want to go out there and make money on this, you're going to have to do this correctly. So that's the other thing. I mean, if you call me up and you have an idea about this, I'll help you walk you through it. I'll tell you if it's a viable idea, and if it's not, then it's not going to work. But, really, I want you guys to understand that when you guys look at some of those links that we did, you guys can see that this is, we're not doing just copy and paste stuff. I mean, these are all made and where the company sees them and they're like, wow, this is amazing. We're not going to cancel the service, And if you guys think about this too, I mean, and if anybody here has a web background or a marketing background, that's great, because then you guys get rid of having to work with Corey and I to build these for you. But I mean, there's a phenomenal opportunity out there for you guys. I mean, really, it really is. But again, anybody can't stress this enough. If you're going to get involved in proximity marketing, you get involved in this, educate yourself on this. I mean, I have tons of links that I can send you guys to that will educate you completely on Google Nearby. So when you are out there talking, you're not just blabbering off what you think. You're actually talking intellectually and intelligently. So that way you know exactly what this does. You know what your customers expects, and you go from there. But yeah, I mean, we definitely have some applications here. We have some stuff that we can do. But again, if you guys are thinking you're going to call, or at least not right now, me and Corey up tomorrow and say, hey, I want to have 500 of these mobile brochures done in 24 hours because I got this, that, and the other. That's not ready right now. And again, because if we, at some point we can probably create something that's going to be a little bit duplicatable. But again, we want to make sure that all those links are relative. That's the way this business is going to work. That's how we're going to be able to make money off this, is relevance. So
guys, so the questions are coming in. Are you guys going to be offering a service and all this? We both have our own platforms. We're trying to meet in the middle somehow so that it helps. Guys, I'm here to help. This is not a program that you get into, and like you said, where you can build hundreds and hundreds of pages. This is not something. It's not a cookie cutter approach, guys. You need to understand that, because every company is different, and I think that if you build it differently and you make it professional for each individual, you're good with Google. But if you start doing just thousands of pages that are identical, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I hope that answers the question, guys. As far as what we're doing, we don't know yet. We haven't. Guys, listen. Do I have something coming down the pipeline? Yes. Does Tony have something up? Yes. We both have stuff that we've done and we're working on. But listen, we're here to educate you guys right now what could be, what is there. And when we figure out what the heck it is we're doing, we're not going to launch something until it's ready. If you guys want Tony to build you a page, contact him, guys. Go for it.
And hey, and you guys don't be afraid to think big. I mean, I ever had a call from a gentleman that a little while ago that says, "Hey, you know what? I have this application. I think that might work with proximity marketing." I mean, if you have a prototype in mind for something that's just not, hey, 101, and you think, hey, I can tackle Salesforce or something, or call me up. I mean, I'll give you the rundown of as to whether or not you think it's going to work. I mean, the bottom line is here, guys, is that we're a very small group here, and the market is open to make a lot of money for all of us. And if we're just savvy, educated, and know what we're doing, not get caught up in the affiliate stuff and mass producing this, and because all that's going to do is just ruin customer relations for all of you guys. I mean, right now people are trusting you that you're selling these gems to, or whatever you call them, and if you can't deliver on them, this whole thing is done. So that's what I really want to stress, is that if we're going to do this, let's do it right. Let's make sure that we're have proper expectations of the people that are purchasing them. And then, we figure out a way to go from there. But I mean, the guys, the market's open for this. I mean, there's so much money on the table right now for this. It just has to be done right.
And again, he just stressed something that I want to say. I'm going to restate this. This isn't about purchasing the beacons. Okay. It's not. It's really, really not. You guys can do your research. You can go out there and get the beacons all day long. It's just it's like a pen, guys. What does this pen do? It writes all kinds of statements. It's very powerful. So the beacon is powerful, but it's not about the beacon. It's about what you do with the beacon that's powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And guys, I know if you guys have questions or anything like that, I mean, please be patient, because I know last time I got completely inundated on the messages, and I will get back with every guys, and Corey will too. But I mean, if you guys have questions, or if there's anything that we didn't cover, I mean, I think we tackled a lot. You guys, what do you think? You guys will take a little poll, make sure we covered anything. Is there anything, guys, that you guys have questions about in regards to compliance? Anything?
Yeah. They're asking about, can you show us the Google page, control the beacon? Actually, all you have to do is search Google or Proximity Beacon API, I guess, for Google. If you go into the control panel, man, do you have the link on that one?
Well, you know what? I do have the link on that, guys, and the way that actually works, and I'll be honest with you guys, Google's user interface is it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, if you guys want to get more familiar with that process, I have one link that will give you everything you need to know about if you just bought the beacon, what you need to do if you want to go full on with it. And again, you're probably going to fall down a rabbit hole of technical knowledge on it. But if you guys are wanting to tackle it and try it and see what you guys can do, then by all means.
And the video that I did about, what was it, 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago, I shared the developer's console, and in that you can see where I entered the Proximity API, and that's how you search for it. You have to have a Google account, guys. You have to have a developer account as well. So it's really, really, really difficult, guys. I know a lot of you guys are tech savvy, but I'm telling you, even if you are tech savvy, there's a lot more to it. This is not something that you can do overnight.
Yeah.
Okay?
Corey, I sent you that link right now for that. So if you want to post it, it's pretty much the be all end all of everything it has to do with should come through on your messaging here in just a second.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really, it's a really good article, guys. I mean, it has everything in there that you guys need to know. So if you want to tackle it.
What? They have to read? What? Dude, let's not go there on that one. Yeah.
Everyone's asking for the link. So yeah, you guys can send it on there. And and just keep in mind, guys, I mean, there's a lot of steps to it. So, I would really, my thing about it is, guys, if you really want to experiment with this and going forward, I mean, really go to Radius Networks, get your beacons, and play with the app a little bit just to get your feet wet. Yep. That's going to be your very first thing. If you want to think, if you're gonna jump immediately to go into the Google registration process, you're gonna lose your mind. So again, any of you guys that are brand spanking new, just want to, and you ordered a couple units from Radius, we'll get that app installed. Play around with it a little bit, and
to do that also, by the way, to do that on Radius Network, your worst case scenario, less than $20. The app that they have, and I have it right here, guys. Let me show you. I have it. Well, it's kind of hard to see. I have both. I have the contact. Well, it's kind of blurry. You guys can see it. This one right. Oops.
Yep.
Well, the blur effect is taking place, but the green one right here is contact, right? The other one right there is the Radius Network. I don't know why it's so hard for it to get in focus. But guys, Both of them are free downloads. You know, I mean, are we throwing the other companies under the bus? Not really. I think you guys.
I think, I mean, it's just like anything. I mean, everything we have, there's a middleman for everything. And you know what? And right now, if you're doing affiliates or if you're doing any type of MLM, you know, there's going to be padding and pricing. And, you know, I think right now, you know, if you really want to get involved in this business, then, you know, do it, be transparent with it, and you can go out and find it yourself. And if you guys can do it, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, if you guys think about this, how much money you're leaving on the table. If you went to, Royaltie and purchased 9 gems or whatever they got for you know, $270 and then $99 a month. If you reversed that and talked about getting 10 of them for, you know, less than $100 and with no monthly fee, if you just do a little bit of education, you have 10 units that you can go out and sell for $25 a pop. That's $250 residual. I don't know how much it's going to take to get $250 residual through their affiliate program or through Asirvia MLM. You guys think about that? That's big. And so, you know, if you're truly entrepreneurial, you're gonna look at that and say, hey, I'm gonna spend some time. I don't care if it takes me 2 weeks to learn how to program these damn little things. I'm gonna figure it out. I mean, for that amount of money, that's a lot of money to leave on the table. And you know, and again, you know, for those of you who don't want to tackle that, I mean, that's what you're leaving on the table if you decide you want to use their platform to configure your little beacons. You know? So
Harry's got some great questions here. I have it up on the screen. Tell us about scalability and meshing. Can there be interference being too close to the next beacon? I already know the answer, but I'm going to let you handle it.
Yeah, you know, typically what happens on that, I'll tell you guys this, what's going to really happen here, and this is kind of crazy about this, is that, you know, let's say, for example, I mean, we actually are working on a prototype here in Albuquerque for, you know, one of the very first physical web neighborhoods where you can walk in the neighborhood and get notifications from the restaurants and the bars, okay? Now, Google's smart about this, and then I don't know if we'll tackle yours. I know what you're saying, Harry, but I just want you guys to also understand this, that, you know, if I'm in a neighborhood and every restaurant has a beacon, one of the things that they also do too is that they're going to be able to they're also going to look at the relevance of the links too to determine who gets notifications first. And so, again, you guys have to understand Google's already on this. So if I'm in a location where there's 10 beacons broadcasting out to me, Google's has a little, you know, something in the back of their tool chest that says, we're going to determine based out of 10 beacons which is the most relevant.
Okay? And what he's talking about, guys, sorry to cut you off. What he's talking about, guys, if you've ever been on like Google Maps or when you search for, you know, like when you search for, okay, Google, find me a chicken restaurant or find me a Chinese food, it goes by relevancy on where your location is and the keyword search, okay? So if your beacon is broadcasting, if the person, of course you get the notifications, but also if you do a search for something, not only do you get the nearby, but you also get the notifications that has the same meta tags for your search.
Right.
Y'all understand that, guys? It's kind of, so.
Yeah, and also, I mean, as far as interference goes and everything else like that, I mean, right now, I mean, you know, the guys, the beacons that we have right now that go on these little keychains are kind of like these are small time guys. I mean, they have beacons out there that do a lot more. I mean, we're talking, you know, geo tracking. We got, I mean, there's a lot more that can be done out there, but of course those can't be carried around. You know, that's when we're working with a restaurant, and if someone's walking throughout a restaurant and they happen to be in the bathroom or whatever, it pins them. I mean, there's so much other applications of this. So as far as interference goes, I'm not really sure, Harry, what you mean by in regards to more other than that, and as far as it interfering, or as far as people not getting the messages, or so I'm not sure. I think
what he's talking about, are they going to interfere with each other? The answer is no. What you'll have, let's say you have 5 beacons within proximity, you get 5 notifications, right? It's up to the customer to click on which notification they want. For example, I'm in the process of developing right now for a company called Open Door. They have it to where they buy houses and they sell houses, but when they buy those houses, they have construction companies like roofing guys, foundation guys, AC repair guys to inspect the house. The problem is they have a 2-hour window to be there, and Open Door can't keep up with their contractors. So I said, okay, I have a solution. I put a beacon in the houses for sale. When the contractor arrives at the location, they pull down the notification. They can check in to that beacon. As they leave the location, they pull it down, they find the notification, they check out from that beacon. So these beacons can do 10,000 times more than what you're seeing right here. The applications are unlimited. And guys, it's in its infancy stage. Even though it's been around for 7 years, it's still brand new. And this is the next phase of marketing when it comes to proximity and geofencing. Right, guys? So I hope you all understand that. This isn't just a deal where you can create landing pages and that's it. I'm sorry, mobile cards. Sorry.
Mobile business cards, man.
Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Are there any more questions? I don't see any. Will NFC versus Bluetooth overpower each other? It's two different elements, guys. Two different elements. That's kind of like if someone was saying, well, this is Bluetooth. Well, I get a text message. You're talking about night and day. A text message is a completely different format. It's a completely different issue. The person has to have your phone number to send you a text message, or they have to opt in to receive a text message. This is Bluetooth, okay? And nearby or near me Bluetooth.
Right.
Not just Bluetooth. They actually have, it's Bluetooth, but there's another element to it, okay?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
And those of you guys that don't understand NFC, I mean, basically what NFC it's basically it's unpowered like microchip that once the phone gets within range, it powers it up and transmits a message. So it's basically a flat, the phone actually activates it. But NFC is primarily used for Apple Pay, Android Pay, any type of the payment systems is primarily what NFC is used for. Not really adopted into any type of marketing efforts as of right now. So basically, at this point, Bluetooth is completely overriding NFC, for the exception of payment programs. Yeah.
So again, Samantha just asked the question, how are they checking in to these homes? Again, everything is done through Google Chrome. So on the iPhone, they have to have their Google Chrome enabled notifications. You can do that right now. If you have an iPhone, you just open up your apps. You go down to Google, you enable on the Google Chrome, you enable it for notifications on your iPhone, and you just drag it up. I did a video on that, guys. This is not scientific stuff here. It's really, really, really simple to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just YouTube it, Google it. It's really simple to do. Now, the beacon also has to be enabled for the iPhone.
Right. Yeah, Samantha, and I think a very good, what we usually do for people with iPhones or iOS is that we do results to text message marketing. So if, like Corey's example, when he goes to that house and he wants to check in, they can just, type in 7144 or maybe 72 in contact to 3411, and it'll ping him with a link in a matter of seconds. And
right.
So as opposed to the Android who walks in, we then use text messaging to kind of use that to get to iPhone. So anything that's iPhone based for us as far as marketing goes is delivered via text message. Right. And that's kind of how that goes. So I think that's also, I think that's what she was asking was how would an iPhone person do that?
Right. Well, listen, guys, we've stressed over an hour here. I usually try to keep everything at an hour, and I hope you guys learned a lot today. We'll probably be doing another video here pretty soon. I don't know. We might do it next week. But, guys, we are all about educating you and helping you with your beacons. If you guys want to learn how you can get pages built for you, please contact Tony. The links are there. Tony, what is your regular business link? How do they get a hold of you? Give that to me or just type it in the
Yeah, I'll type it in. What I'll do is I'll send you my email address, and then, of course, they can also
Perfect. Guys, go ahead. Also, you guys, y'all know that a lot of my people that are here in this group bought the Proximity platform. They will gladly build you pages. All right, guys? I'm not in the page building business. I can, but I don't have a whole lot of time. I would rather put money in the pockets of the people that are out there doing this every day, like Tony. I know Samantha has it. I know my little mini-me Steph has it. My little minion has it. There's several people that have it that are actually watching this video right now.
And of course, you can tell Corey. I mean, anybody can also just message me on Facebook or whatever. Right. Just keep in mind that I will get back with you as quickly as possible. There's been a lot of requests, and hopefully a lot of those requests that people were asking me for, I answered today. And
Right.
so going forward, if you guys have any questions, it's more about application, or you have some people that want this and we want to figure out how to make it happen. So hopefully if you guys have any questions going forward, I kind of eliminated a lot of those questions.
So you want this email in the, is that okay?
Yeah, you can throw it in there. It's fine.
All right.
That's my primary email. But yeah, of course, you guys just, Facebook Messenger is probably easier.
Yep. Actually, that's the best thing. And guys, we're here for you. Again, not blasting any of the companies. I hope that they are successful. But anyway, after our discussion today, you know what's probably going to happen with those. So we will just keep growing and growing and growing. We're here to educate you guys. Remember, this group is going away in about 2 weeks. So if you haven't joined the proximity.marketing.nation, you need to do that within the next week, guys. Okay, Tony, any final words? Any final comments?
I just got a message from Victoria. She says she's a little disappointed that she was hoping that we're going to show exactly how to program the beacons. It's kind of, I can, if you want to, Victoria, I can get on the phone with you and kind of show you a little bit more detail on that. But it's something I can try to walk you through on the phone on that, but something that's kind of really difficult to kind of explain in a Facebook Live situation like this. So if you have questions on that, we can definitely
video. Well, you and I I'm pretty good at doing videos. So eventually, guys, be patient with us. We're just trying to help you guys out. There will be training on everything that we're talking about eventually.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We could probably do a quick little screencast of it and just kind of walk them through the basics of it on that, because so yeah, that'll come. But Victoria, just give me a call if you have any questions. I can see if I can help you.
Cool. Any more questions, guys, before we get off of here? Going once, going twice. Let me see.
All right, guys.
Let me roll up. I think it's good. Everybody says thanks. Guys, give me thumbs up. Give us some love. Let us know that you enjoyed this presentation. And if you'd like to see more of them, reach out to us. Obviously, you want to share this with people, and always keep putting your comments in, even after the presentation is over. And we will get back to you with that. I'm going to be looking at this for the next day or two. And here in the next week or so, we will announce what Tony and I are going to try to put together something. We're going to try to mash something together to serve you and your customers as best as possible, and we will go from there. Tony, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing with our group, and I appreciate your time and your efforts and helping people out. So, guys, once again, remember, love, share, give, and we will see you guys on the flip side. Y'all have a good one. And